everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you how to make these super cute Easter bunnies. So if you want to know how to make them, stick around. I'll show you how. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Right, Maxwell? Okay, you're going to take the pattern. It's in the description below, and you're going to go ahead and cut it out. And then I'm using a piece of 12 by 12 faux fur, and you're going to line the top part of the pattern up at the top where the faux fur is rolling downward. So you want to make sure that the fur is going downward. And then go ahead and cut it out using the backing only, cutting just through the backing only, not through the faux fur itself. Next, we're going to comb the faux fur in on the 6.5 inch side. So that's the 7.5 inch side at the top. And you're going to comb both sides of the 6.5 inch into the center. We're going to glue this together, and so you want to make sure you get all your fur inside. And then we're just going to run a bead of glue down the side and start gluing them together. Just do this in sections and then it'll go together pretty quickly. And you will have some glue ooze out. Don't worry about that. You're not going to see it. But you want to make sure that you do get this glued completely together. Next, for the bottom, we're going to use our circle pattern, and we're going to cut this out of fleece. And just try to get a fleece that kind of matches your fur a little bit. And this ends up being about a 3-inch circle. Next, the end that has the fur coming out of it, that's the bottom. You're going to tuck all that fur inside, and then you're going to take some pins and pin your bottom in. Now, you're going to have to flatten this out a little bit as you go. It does look like it's a little bit big for the pattern, but it's really not. You want to push it outward, not inward. So kind of like as if it was flattened out right there. Just try to get that as flat as you can. And then we're going to start gluing it in sections. And I'm going to tell you right now, you are going to probably get some glue on your fingers. So if you're sensitive to that, you might want to put some of those little fingertips on, because it's going to be almost impossible not to get a little bit of glue on your fingers on this one. Just kind of take your time, and you can try to get it as best you can, but it is going to be a little bit challenging not to get some glue on you. But just take your time on this step. Just go all the way around and just make sure you get it glued in well. That's dried. We're going to go ahead and turn it right side out, and then push it all the way to the bottom till you get it opened up completely. Filling, I'm going to take a sock, put it right down inside of here, and then I'm going to fill this up with some weighted beads and then part of it with some polyfill. Now, if you sewed this, you can skip this step and you can put it right down inside. And you don't have to use weighted beads. You can use some rice or anything like that, but you want to make sure you do get some weight in here so it does stand up. And then I'm going to finish it out with some polyfill. And I'm going to go all the way to the top part of my body. And then we're going to cut off our sock here in a minute. We're going to pull it up and cut it off. So just get it to the top line of where your body is. And then when you get to this point, you can pull your sock on up, go ahead and cut it off, and then we can continue to fill it up to the top. But you do want quite a bit of stuffing in here. And then we're going to take it, gather it up, and we're going to put a rubber band right around the top part of it. Then we're going to tie it off with some string. And then we're going to tie a string right around where we put that rubber band. Don't skip this step, because you want to make sure if your rubber band were to pop, it still stays together. Next, we're going to cut out the ears, and we're going to put the ears at the top part. You want it coming downward, the fur coming downward, and you're going to cut 2 of these out of the faux fur, just cutting behind the faux fur only. And when I say behind the faux fur only, if you just do little snippets right there, you can feel exactly where the backing is on that fur, and you're just cutting the backing off of it. And you're going to cut 2 of these ears just like that. Next, go ahead and comb through them to get the excess fur off of them. Next, we're going to turn our sides in just about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Just glue it in. That way when we put our insert on, the ears will be a solid piece. There won't be any gaps on them. And you're only doing the sides, not the bottom. And you're going to do the same thing with the other ear. Next, for the insert, I'm just taking some fleece. I'm using a contrasting color, and I'm going to cut out my little pattern with the insert. This is just the smaller part of the ear. And you're going to cut 2 of these out. And you could use felt or anything like that. It does not have to be fleece. Next, you're going to take a pipe cleaner, you fold it in half, and we're going to glue this to the inside of the furry part of the ear, just straight down. And then we're going to cover it with our insert. This way you can make your ears bend. But you do want to double up on that pipe cleaner. You do want to fold it in half so it's a double thickness. And you're going to take your fleece insert and you're just going to glue it in. So kind of start at the top and then start gluing down the sides. But spend some time on this part. Make sure you get it glued in good because this is going to be a major focal point. And do your other ear exactly the same way. Just make sure you are getting your sides glued in good. Get as close to the edge as you can. Okay, next, starting at the back, you're going to take a needle and thread, and we're just going to do like 1/4 inch stitches all the way around so we can draw this up. And I'm using a little bit thicker thread. I've got mine at Hobby Lobby. It's like an upholstery thread. You want to use something that's thick enough to pull. And just go all the way around from one side to the other, starting at the back. Then we're going to take our ears and we're going to glue them into the front before we draw this up. So just open that up, make sure that they are in the front, your seams in the back, and you're just going to push these down here and glue them into the front. And you're kind of putting them right side by side with just a little bit of gap between them. Then draw your thread up and tie that off. And then we're going to come back in and glue a little bit more just to hold all this together. And then we're going to put a little bit of glue in the back just to hold this in. And then we're going to put a little bit of glue between the 2 ears to hold those in at the front. And then just squeeze all that together and let that dry. For the face, I got this eye and nose little kit from Amazon. And I'm going to take one of the little noses and I'm going to glue it between 2 little 1/2 inch felt balls. Just put it right into the center and glue it together. Next, I'm going to cut my pattern out for the bangs, and I'm going to cut this out of the faux fur as well, just to go right across the very top part by the ears. And this is just a small rectangle. You're just going to trim a little U shape around the corners, just create a little corner on both ends. And then just remove all the excess fur. Okay, then you're going to fold it over at the top about 1/4 inch and glue that over. This will give it a nice trimmed out edge once we put it onto our rabbit. And then we're going to put this right up at the top along the lines of where the ears are. Just do a little bead of glue right across there and then just glue that right on there. This will help the transition between the ears and the body as well. Next, go ahead and comb your bangs open a little bit, and then we're going to put our nose in right about here. It's probably about 1/2 inch from the edge of that trim. And then we're going to add our eyes just above those, and we're going to poke a hole in them with a X-Acto knife so that they will set down inside of the body. Just kind of comb it open a little bit, and then just kind of figure out where you want your eyes. I'm putting mine like right up on top. And then cut it open with an X-Acto knife, and then we're going to glue them into those holes.
And then go ahead and take the other one out and poke a hole in there too. And then once you get them exactly where you want them, we're just going to lift them up a little bit and put a little bit of glue just underneath them. Don't take them back out. Just lift it up and put a little bit of glue. It'll hold in there just fine. And do the same thing with the other side. Just kind of mash them down good. Next, just run a little bead of glue right down the edge of where that little bangs are, just to kind of flatten it out right there. And then I got some little ribbons and I just made some bows with them, and I'm going to put them at the top of each one of the ears just to kind of dress them up a little bit. Next, I'm taking some air dry clay and I'm just going to roll it up into a little ball. I'm making some little hands to go around that carrot. And I got that carrot at Hobby Lobby. It's just a little felt carrot, but you're just going to push them on there till they go around the edge. Just push it in the front and make them go around the side like they're holding on to the carrot. I decided to put some little paw prints on these, so I'm just doing 3 of these with the bottom of a paintbrush on both of these, and then let them dry real good, and then we'll glue them on here in a little bit. For the feet, I've given you the pattern in the description below. You're going to cut 2 of the feet out of the white and then the rest of the pieces out of the pink. And I've given it to you both in SVG and PDF. Now, if you can't cut these little toes out real easily, use a paper punch and just punch them out. And we're just going to glue them onto the feet just like this. But these really aren't that hard to cut out by hand, and I'm using craft foam on both of these. And you're going to do the other foot exactly the same way. Attach them. I'm just going to take some hot glue and glue it right to the fur. And I'm kind of tilting them both out at an angle. Okay, next go ahead and glue your hands onto your little carrots. And then we're just going to glue this right to the front of our bunny as well, like he's holding it. Just right there. This was pretty quick and easy, and I think he turned out super cute. And then to dress up his ear just a little bit, I'm just going to come in and add one little flower right to the ear. And I'm just putting one of these on here. All right, that was pretty cute. I think he turned out super cute. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, if you want to make the smaller little bunny, stay tuned, and I'll show you how I did it. I'm not going to do the whole bunny, but I am going to show you the differences that I did in making this one as opposed to this one. You want to make the smaller one, I've given you the pattern in the description below. You're just going to download it and you're going to build this one exactly like the other one. And then I'm just going to show you what I used in place of the bigger sock to fill it up. And this is a lot smaller, so it's going to be a little bit tighter here. So when you do glue this together, just kind of hold it up there and pin it and kind of glue it in sections as you go. This will help you to get it together pretty easily. And then just kind of take your time on this part, and then we're going to put a smaller circle on the bottom to hold all this in. To fill this one, I'm just using a little toddler sock and a little piece of wooden dowel just to kind of get this stuck in there. And then I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to fill that up with polyfill and the weighted beads and tie it off at the top the same way. I just wanted you to see that I'm using a little bit smaller of a sock. And a little dowel stick will help you get it put down into the bottom. As you're adding your polyfill, since the opening is smaller, just put your fill in there and then take your dowel stick and pat it down. So you're compressing it down into the bottom. And just keep doing this until you get as much in there as you need it to stand up, and then fill the rest of it with the polyfill. But the dowel stick really does help to compact it down into the bottom. And then everything else you're going to build exactly the same way as you did the larger one. Your pattern pieces are just going to be a little bit smaller. For his face, you're going to have to use some smaller pieces. These are a little bit smaller balls, and the nose is a little bit smaller. You get a big variety in that box, so you have plenty to choose from, but I am using a little bit smaller nose, and I am going to cut the tip of this one off so I can just glue it flush with it. It worked a little bit easier that way. smaller rabbit, I'm just putting one bow on this side, and then I'm going to put a little flower on the opposite side. 2 bows was just a little bit too big for this little bunny. I hope you enjoyed the video today. I hope it inspired you to get out there and make you some little rabbits like these. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a like, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified when I have a new video upload. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And if nobody's told you today, you're awesome. See you next time. Thanks for watching.